I always encourage people not to make major life decisions when they are high on feelings because emotion intoxicates. It's like a narcotic, it distorts perception, makes things seem like they are more important than they might be, makes certain choices seem like good ideas when it might not be a good idea at all. And this is one of the reasons I so strongly dislike men who talk about using emotion to manipulate women, especially in regard to sleeping with them. Because in my eyes, this is similar to drugging. I'm not saying they are one and the same, but I'm saying I see them as similar. But in any respect, the people you should be careful of, obviously, be careful of outsiders and so forth, never know what they're doing. It's probably my trust issue speaking, but people who tell you what you want to hear, especially if you've just met them or kind of know them, if somebody is telling you everything you want to hear, that is someone you should be cautious of because they are trying to get you to lower your guard. They are trying to fill you with warm, positive feelings that we share some kind of connection. Why would you want to do that? Why do you want me to get me to lower my guard? Well, it's probably not for anything good. And this is the way I tend to see it. I always encourage people make choices about your life when you are static, at a neutral state, the way you feel most often. Because at one point in my life, I legitimately had to ask myself, which way is the way I actually feel? I might feel two or three or four different ways about something over the course of the day, especially if there's marijuana involved. Marijuana can 180 my feelings to the point where it's the exact opposite. Like I obviously used it as an example before with anger and hatred. I cannot get rid of it without smoking pot. But if I smoke pot, it takes it all away, and I will even feel guilt for some things. Even things I haven't done, but just if the intent was in me or it was building towards that, because that is not the way I feel the vast majority of the time. But something has gotten under my skin. Someone has done me wrong. And this needs to be, I don't want to say avenged, but justice must be served. That sounds so fucked up. But no, it is true though. Emotion can be more dangerous than liquor or drugs. But when you combine them, oh, you just have a recipe for disaster. Even if you're talking about alcohol and sex, this is something I will not even deal with. If someone's been drinking, no. Just unless we have a deep prior relationship and I've already been with this person and I'm relatively confident in their state of mind and what they want. But as far as people that I am relatively new to, there is no liquor. Under no circumstances will I say yes to anything like that. Liquor makes people's decisions void. You can no longer expect them to feel like they're sane. You can no longer trust them. And once again, maybe this is trust issues on my part, but once someone has imbibed spirituous drink, I no longer trust what they're saying. I know it is very loose at that point, you know, but it's very, I don't want to say dangerous because that overstates the case, perhaps. But I've seen many people go away for 15 years on things that emotion made them do. I know a lot of guys serving a lot of time right now that made that choice based on emotion, and it was the wrong choice. I mean, some of them are happy with it. That's just the way they are. Like, the only thing they regret is getting caught. But, you know, even then, emotion, I don't want to say it never leads to anything good, because in very specific circumstances and with specific people, it can. In fact, it is one of the most important things in my eyes. Like, it's something I put on a pedestal. I give a very high price tag to it with people. Uh, it's deeply important to me. But through most of my life, emotions have served other my own emotions have served others more than me. They have been weaponized against me. So I can't assume everyone has had a life like mine, but I would say acting on emotion, making major life decisions on emotion, trusting people you've just met based on emotion. These are no nos. Or you should be very, very cautious, because most likely your emotions are telling you something that is not in line with reality. And most likely this person has something to do with it. I always am amazed. People will tell me marketing doesn't work on me. It's like, well, the thing about it is, if it was working, you wouldn't know it. People perceive it as they see a Burger King commercial and then they will want Burger King. But it goes much deeper than that. It's seeding an idea into your mind. So a week from now, 2 weeks from now, a month from now, when you're driving down the road and you are hungry, passively in your mind, there is the thought of that commercial. It won't enter into your mind as an active thought, but it's already in there. Your brain has been seeded with these ideas, and they lace them with emotion. And the things they do to kids are even just abominable. I can't believe it's legal. It shouldn't be legal. Uh, I mean, even on the fact that, you know, Willy Wonka and AstraZeneca have the same rules as far as marketing, like the same laws apply to each of them, and you know, all the pharmaceutical companies are using the same marketing and public relations companies that Willy Wonka is. That's troubling to me. But you know, I see the way kids respond to fast food and how much they like it. And I remember how much I liked it as a kid too. Like, I can't even eat it now. But as a kid, I remember, and there was positive emotion associated with it as well. Oh, that leaves me raw. Like, I do not like emotionally manipulating kids. Like, when I see that, that's it's the same thing. I don't like people that emotionally manipulate women or men for that matter, but specifically women and specifically kids. I do not like people who do that stuff. Uh, it is, like I said, in my eyes, it's similar to drugging someone. And I know how powerful these things can be. And most people are not aware of how powerful these techniques can be and how strong even their own emotions are, because it's something they've experienced their whole lives. So they don't really think about it. But if somebody knows what they're doing, they don't even really need to know you that well. They can make very quick assumptions based upon the way you stand, the way you make eye contact, what your clothing is, what your level of education is by the words you use. There's all kinds of very fast assumptions I can use and make a person feel like I know, like they must know me. I've played this game with people many, many times, and they are very surprised and shocked sometimes at the accuracy of what I say. But it's all just a statistical game and archetypes. People of certain personality types are more inclined to do certain things. If someone is in a certain posture, it's easier to guess what their personality type is just by the way they're standing. There's a lot you can tell. Is it forward? Is it back? Is it relaxed? Are they trying to be attractive? Are they trying to be scary? Like, all these things tell me more and more, and any details you can glean can be weaponized against someone. It is also why I try and make my clothing very plain. Well, not Eeyore, but uh, but I'm a very strange being. So, somebody that was competent, I imagine it wouldn't be that difficult. Like, I try not to hide too much. I mean, there's things I don't talk about, but that's more because it's uncomfortable for other people rather than uncomfortable for myself. I could really care less at this point in my life. Yeah. But, you know, a lot of things are better left unsaid. There's just no, if there's a lesson that can be learned, or it is something that I truly didn't know growing up and I feel my life suffered because of it, which is why I talk about a lot of the things I choose to talk about. But this is becoming rambling and I have a very bad headache again. So, you know, emotions are like drugs. They have an intoxicating effect, and you should always be cautious when someone is plucking at them, when someone is getting emotional responses out of you, and you should never make major life decisions while on them. Take it for what it's worth, I guess.